say that everything in the universe can be explained, that every shadow has a source, every sound has a frequency, and every mystery has an answer, if you just dig deep enough. But what if that's not true? What if some mysteries were never meant to be solved because the truth behind them isn't something we were ever supposed to understand? Today, we're exploring 5 of the strangest, most unexplainable cases ever recorded. Real events that defy logic, science, and time itself. Stories that investigators, scientists, and skeptics have studied for decades, yet the deeper they look, the stranger things become. It began on a quiet morning in December, on Somerton Beach in Adelaide, Australia. A man was found sitting against a seawall, legs neatly crossed, shoes polished, dressed in a nice suit and tie. He looked peaceful, almost asleep. But when police approached, they realized he was dead. No identification, no wallet, the labels on his clothing had been carefully removed. His fingerprints matched no one on record, his dental records also unmatched. The autopsy found no signs of violence, no poison, no trauma, no reason for this man to be dead. And then came the strangest discovery of all. In his small fob pocket, sewn deep inside his pants, investigators found a tiny rolled up scrap of paper, 2 words printed on it. Tamam shud, Persian for "it is finished." Those words triggered one of the most complex investigations in modern history. Detectives traced the phrase to a rare book of Persian poetry called The Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam. A copy of that book was later found in a car near the beach, and inside, it had a missing page, exactly where the words Tamam shud had been torn from. But there was more. Scrawled on the back cover of that book was a series of bizarre codes and phone numbers. Experts, cryptographers, even military intelligence tried to decipher it. No one ever could. One phone number led to a nurse named Jessica Thompson, who, when interviewed, appeared terrified. She denied knowing the man, but when shown his face, witnesses say she nearly fainted. To this day, no one knows who the Somerton Man was, how he died, or what strange message meant. Was he a spy, a lover betrayed, or something even darker, an experiment wiped clean? In 1957, a pair of twin girls named Jennifer and Gillian Pollock were born in Hexham, England, but their parents believed from the moment they opened their eyes that they were not new souls. A year earlier, their older daughters, Joanna and Jacqueline, had died in a tragic car accident. The grief nearly destroyed the family, but then, 1 year later, the twins were born, and immediately, things got eerie. The twins began pointing out places they had never been, describing them perfectly. They recognized toys that had belonged to their deceased sisters, calling them by the correct names, even though their parents had never told them. Jennifer had a strange birthmark on her forehead, in the exact same place as Jacqueline's scar, and another on her waist, identical in size and location. When the twins were old enough to walk, they begged to visit a town they had never been to. When their parents reluctantly took them, the girls led them through the streets, pointing out landmarks that matched their previous home. One day, as they passed a parked car, the twins screamed in terror, saying that was the car that killed them. Dr. Ian Stevenson, a respected psychiatrist who studied over 3,000 cases of alleged reincarnation, said the Pollock twins were one of the strongest he'd ever seen. But how could 2 new lives carry memories and marks from the dead? Every logical explanation collapses. DNA can't explain it, and psychology can't explain it. Even after the twins grew older, the memories slowly faded, as if whatever had crossed between worlds was only temporary. If consciousness truly does transcend death, the Pollock twins might be proof we are far more than flesh and blood. When construction workers were digging along the banks of the Meuse River near Aiud, they found something buried in the earth. At first it looked ordinary, a chunk of metal covered in mud. But when cleaned, it appeared to be a machine-made object, complete with precise curvature, layered metal, and tool marks. The problem? It was buried alongside the bones of a woolly mammoth, at least 10,000 years old, maybe even older. But the metal it was made of, aluminum, wasn't discovered until the 1800s. So what was an advanced metallic alloy doing buried next to an Ice Age bone? Romanian scientists were stunned. The wedge was tested in multiple labs, each confirming it was an aluminum silicon alloy, composed of 89% pure aluminum and 11 other trace metals. Even more bizarre, its oxidation level suggested it had been buried for thousands of years. The object itself seemed to resemble part of a mechanical component, possibly a gear or support structure. Archaeologists claimed it must be modern contamination, but metallurgists disagreed, saying it couldn't have been machined by modern tools without leaving tool signatures inconsistent with known techniques. Ancient alien theorists suggested something bolder, that it might have belonged to an ancient aircraft or even a craft that wasn't from Earth at all. The Romanian government locked it away in a museum basement for decades. Today, it's occasionally displayed, but only as a mystery object. No one knows who made it, when, or how it ended up beside creatures that went extinct before humans discovered writing. If real, it could rewrite everything we know about the history of technology, or hint that our timeline is far older than we think. February 1994, paramedics rushed 31-year-old Gloria Ramirez into Riverside General Hospital. She was conscious, barely, and suffering from extreme confusion and heart palpitations. Doctors moved quickly, they drew her blood, and that's when everything went wrong. A nurse caught a strange, ammonia-like odor coming from Gloria's body. Moments later, another nurse collapsed. Then a doctor fainted. Then another staff member vomited and passed out cold. Within minutes, the ER had become a scene of chaos. 23 people fell ill, 5 were hospitalized, and Gloria Ramirez was dead. Her body emitted a strange oily sheen and a garlicky, metallic smell that no one could identify. The coroner's office sealed her remains for testing, but the contamination spread there too, forcing the lab to evacuate. The media dubbed her the Toxic Lady. Scientists from the CDC launched an investigation. Their conclusion? They had no conclusion. One theory suggested her body may have created a rare chemical reaction due to DMSO, a home remedy compound she may have used, turning it into dimethyl sulfate, a lethal poison gas. But others doubted it. The chemical chain reaction required impossible temperatures. Some witnesses described seeing white, crystalline particles inside her blood and on her skin, things that shouldn't exist biologically. Then came the rumor. Gloria Ramirez may have been exposed to something or someone far beyond normal. Her body was buried under heavy concrete after being held in quarantine for nearly 2 months. To this day, the exact cause of what happened in that ER remains unknown. Was it chemistry or contamination from something far stranger? No one can say for sure, but if the government ever found an answer, they've never released it. You're sitting at home watching your favorite TV show, when suddenly the screen cuts to black. Static fills the air, then a distorted figure appears. A man wearing a plastic mask of the 1980s character Max Headroom, that eerie computerized face with sunglasses, a suit, and a background of spinning metal panels. The voice was garbled, robotic. He laughed, shouted nonsense, and muttered cryptic phrases. Then he was spanked by a fly swatter and vanished. The entire broadcast lasted just 90 seconds, but it didn't happen once, it happened twice that night, hijacking 2 Chicago television stations. The intruder somehow overpowered the station's transmission signal, something that even today is incredibly difficult to do. The FCC, FBI, and local authorities launched an investigation, but they never found him. Experts say the equipment and precision required would have been nearly impossible for one person. Others think it was an inside job, someone within the station itself, but the message, if there was one, remains unknown. Some believe it was just a prank, others think it was a coded broadcast, possibly even a psychological experiment. To this day, no one has ever claimed responsibility. No fingerprints, no confessions, no trail. And that video, it's now considered one of the most disturbing pieces of television ever aired. one that felt less like a prank and more like a transmission from someone else. So to summarize, we have a man with no identity and a message from the grave, children who remember lives they never lived, an artifact from before humans could create metal, a woman whose body became a chemical weapon, and a voice that hijacked reality itself. We think we live in a world of facts and proof, but these cases remind us of something deeper, that beneath the surface of what we know, there's an ocean of what we don't. Maybe these mysteries can't be solved because they were never meant to be. After all, some answers don't set you free, they change you forever. Stay curious, and as always, stay weird.